enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You have not enough minerals. You must construct additional pylons.
Oh, the gateway's late. The gateway being late won't matter unless he's going for a 12 pull. Because I'm not going to have the minerals after my Nexus is complete to build it. Or after my Nexus is started to build my core. Right when the gateway's done. So it shouldn't matter too much. But if he is 12 pulling, it will be valid. Hopefully not a 12 pull. Or not a 13 gas 12 pull. I find Storm to be much better than Disruptors in PvT. I don't understand why so many foreign Protoss players go for Disruptor. I think it won't work when they play against very top Terran players, like those in Korea. It'll be a rude awakening. No one in Korea really goes Disruptor. Okay, second Overlord, we're completely safe. Oh, I should have built that pylon, but I was adjusting the monitor. Damn. Speed will be done at 410.
Construct additional pylons.
So it's pretty late. I can afford to take a cast through base and still be safe. So I'm gonna ship core after my probe. What's my next tournament? DreamHack PvZ.
To the Daemon.
Justice has come. We proceed.
Iron.
For 10 is one speed.
The firstborn shall persevere.
I will use that. I should have clicked on the extractor during that. Mistake, too.
You have not enough minerals. Research complete.
We're okay. Speed is done now.
I am eager to strike. You have teleport successful. You have not enough minerals.
Where's that sound?
You have not enough minerals. The skies await. I am eager to strike.
Alright. I'll that up quickly.
Teleport successful. Time for...
Hydra this time.
Engaging the enemy. Warp field online. Understood.
That's my first.
Skies. Where do our enemies go? You have not.
Let your
Time for. Zero action. Warp. I am. Time for battle. Time for battle. Understood. Zero action. Skies await. Edward. Zero action. Fly on. Alarm forgot.
Hydra pop. Yep.
Upgrade complete.
Too many Hydras. Time to go back home.
Alarm.
give us.
As all
Upgrade complete.
Glory to the Daemon.
Warp field online. You must construct additional pilots.
Whoops.
Nano. Our windows.
You require.
An ARD.
Let's see if he's going for.
I am the void.
Nano.
Looker done right now? Yes. Looker is a little more. Not far from. I think I've gotten the tail end of that.
Research complete.
I'm waiting with my warp prism.
Depleted. Mineral field depleted.
Is that him moving out? I saw something happening now. I guess it wasn't. I'm going crazy.
I am here in the shadows. Not enough mineral field depleted. I am here in the shadows.
We slept in our windows.
Presiding.
Ire.
I was in love with in my mind. In my
Research complete. Consciousness awaits. Your warriors have engaged.
Oh, fuck. Well played.
Our windows shut.
Lisping gas. I am here in the shadows. Rudiments, ancient speak.
We serve.
He hasn't morphed any Lickers. This is probably a Viper.
Engaging the enemy. Rudiments.
You see.
Vipers are probably going to be done soon too. Which is scary. The shots are on cooldown, so I'm going to pull back. Build 2 more disruptors.
We begin.
In the van with my friend, it was for freedom from myself and
Time for battle.
from the land
Charge is almost done, so we're going to charge outs.
of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes.
Speak.
Oh my god.
I made a lot
This guy is like on top of things.
of mistakes.
Oh my god. Please. Oh, the wrong unit sucky. That was like a disaster of a fight. That really was a disaster. I could have controlled that so much more well. Wow, was done. He abducted the warp prism, and so none of the zealots were in the warp field anymore. It's gonna die, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Oh my god. I think his Vikings are still alive too. Oh shit.
Ancient glory you require.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
I have a better economy than him now. I didn't kill as high, but I have a better economy. So I'm just gonna wait until I storm. I should be able to win. He's invested too much in his ground army to really go Mula, I think.
We await.
We shall stand against the darkness.
It is destined.
Mineral field depleted.
Are we
I live on.
Not enough minerals.
not retired? Our fate.
Ancient Moon Oracle. My job complete.
An error.
Storm should be done soon. His booker's down.
We begin anew.
Okay, so here's the plan.
My job. We shall
He's going to try to feed back my disruptors.
You seek guidance?
Let's see if he's not looking. Maybe he wasn't looking. He's gonna try to feed back my disruptors. Now I know where his vipers are. I'm watching the mini map to see any that's coming out. I don't see any. Oh shit. Oh! That was such long range. Pull back. Really hard to engage this. I can disrupt those two ducks. But I think I can get a really big hit here if he doesn't do anything. All of those are clumped up. Oh my god. GG. That Zerg was really good. 373 rupees too. GG. I am getting better at that. It's gonna take a while for me to keep practicing it, but I feel good. If a Korean taunts you about your gameplay, does it mean they have respect for you? They probably, yeah. Honestly, the answer is yeah. Koreans, generally, I like, whenever you say anything like Americans generally do this, Europeans generally do this, Korean people generally do this, of course it's not always true. But one thing that I've noticed about Korean culture is typically when people don't really say like bad things, they don't really talk shit face to face. So if someone in Korea is like teasing you about something, and it's like, it's probably not malicious, it's just out of the culture, so it's probably more of a friendly thing. So yeah, I would say that means they respect you. Do you find commentating makes it harder for you to play, or is it natural for you to do? Commentating does make it a lot harder for me to play, but I'm getting better at it. But in situations like this game, you could tell towards the end of the game when the situations got more intense and more micro-intensive, my commentary kind of dropped off a bit. I try to commentate when I can, but my attention span isn't good enough to commentate really well and also control an army like this. My Templar are on control group 1 with my main army, my Disruptors are on control group 2. Infinity! Yo, Infinity! You don't need yesterday's. Let me post today's replay pack. This game included. And then we're gonna do some replay analysis because that was a really good game to learn from, I think. This is wrong, these are my highlights. This is probably the best PvZ I've ever played at Legacy. Okay. I'll post a replay pack in chat for everybody. The stream is not ending, but I am gonna post a replay pack. Please don't think the stream is ending. So we're gonna do some analysis for this game. And if you're watching on teamliquid.net or in some other embedded client, make sure that you get on twitch.tv so that you're in the Twitch chat, because that's where the link will be posted to the replay pack. And this replay pack will have 30 games, including all the games that I've played today. So give me one moment to set that up and upload it, and then I'll link you. And don't worry, you're not gonna miss the pack if you're not in chat in time for the link. Just ask me or a mod or somebody, and I'm sure they'll post it. Do I have any job right now? This is my full-time job. There's the replay pack. Let's go analyze this game now. We'll times 2 through it because I guess nobody really understood what. But yeah, I don't have any job right now. This is my full-time job. I'm a full-time programmer in Korea. Stream is Kinchichiro.
You must construct additional pilots.
But if this is your first time watching my stream, I stream from 10 a.m. KST to 7 p.m. KST every weekday. And I'm beginning to stream on the weekends too, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. KST. So anytime between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. KST, you can come and watch me in my channel. And I should be streaming. If I'm not streaming for whatever reason, I may have like a tournament I need to prepare for, or a doctor's appointment or something like that. You can always find out about those updates on Twitter. My Twitter is twitter.com/ThetaC2. I'll post that in chat in a second. And I'll post the replay pack again too, because it looks like some people missed it. But if you enjoy the show, please come and watch again. I'm streaming extremely consistently. I'm trying to go 7 days a week. Right now I'm up to like 55 hours a week. I'm maybe expanding that to maybe 60 or 70 hours a week. But yeah, I'm really happy to stream for you guys, so please continue to tune in. Every day I set a donation goal that's up here at the top of $25. If I hit the donation goal of $25 for a 9-hour stream, or about $3 an hour, I will upload a replay pack for the day. And everybody can download that replay pack, not just subscribers, not just people who donated, not just people who followed. Everybody can download the replay pack. You don't have to do anything except hop in chat and then download the file. And we hit that goal basically every day. It's just a modest amount. It's like the bare minimum I would need to survive. because this is my full-time job. And if you want to subscribe, subscribers get full access to VODs. They get weekly replay packs, including my 100 most recent ladder games and all highlights that I played. This game is like the kind of example game that would be in the highlight. You would get a folder specifically with 10 or 20 or 30 games like this one that I felt were really entertaining or really insightful for whatever reason. And subscribers also get like 8 subscriber emoticons and stuff like that. I think I need like 500 subscribers to get the next emoticons, 250 or 500 or something. So it's probably gonna take a while before we get subscriber emoticons number 9 and 10. But I hope you're satisfied with what we've got now. Stream is not ending. I'm just gonna do some replay analysis. We're gonna stream for 1 more hour. 1 more hour. No, you don't get those replay packs per month. You get them every Monday, KST. So 1 a week. Not just every month, every week. State, how do you feel about taking third base with the future mothership nerf for Pylon? It's too hard to say. It's too hard to say whether it's going to change too much. I smoked a bunch of weed, but there's no food in my house. We ordered me McDonald's. Sorry. I don't have cash for that. I wish I could though, man. How do your parents feel about this job, and do they know that it's a bit, or do they bitch that it's not a conventional way to make money? I'm not really close to my family. Like, I haven't spoken to my dad in a long time. I should probably call him. I think the last time I talked to my dad was like maybe more than a year ago, and I called him because I wanted to know how he made, how he prepared scallops. So I'd never made scallops before. But yeah, I should probably call my dad. But I'm not super close to my family yet. My parents are like incredibly laissez-faire. They just let me do whatever. They don't really care, so. Yeah, they don't really mind that I'm a pro gamer. It makes me happy, so even if they didn't mind, why would it matter, you know? But anyway, I opened Phoenix this game. Let's actually go back a little bit, because I do want to do some replay analysis and not just answer questions. Where would those show up? In your email or Twitch messages? I'm not sure. I think they would show up in your messages. I think they would show up in your messages. If you're an 80 APM scrub who can't micro disruptors, for those a good build for PBX. I still think disruptors are good. You can just practice micro disruptors. Disruptors are necessary in PvZ, I think. And in other matchups, I would go, you can just go Gateway Army with Immortals in PvT and PvP. It's not better than going Disruptor in PvP once you get on 3 or 4 bases, but you can still make it work. So I would say Disruptors in PvZ, you can do other builds and other matchups. So anyway, this game, we scouted that his gas was pretty late, and he got speed at 410, if I'm recalling correctly, which meant that I was completely safe to take my third base, and typically taking a third base at this timing is going to be safe regardless. The reason why I was really comfortable, though, doing everything was because I did scout that timing. Typically, speed would finish around 330 or 340, but 410 is a very late speed, so he got maybe 1 or 2 extra drones out. He wanted to focus a little bit more on minerals, which is good for him, but I'm very happy knowing that I'm comfortable and I don't need to worry about any kind of harassment or anything like that. I don't need a pylon on my mineral line in case of link drops. I don't need anything like that to deal with early game aggression. And Phoenix is kind of crush Ravager pushes. Am I gonna add a speed overlay like Pulse? Maybe. Maybe. Not now. Not yet. I just made this little... Everything that you see on mine is what I made myself. Holy shit, Thunderdome 488. Holy fuck, man. Thank you for your donation. $50. Holy shit. Thank you so much. Wow, Thunderdome, thank you so much for the donation. I really sincerely appreciate that, man. Oh, I lost my train of thought. That's too exciting. What was, God, what was I saying? I was talking about speed, right? The speed timing. I was talking about the speed timing, wasn't I? Oh, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Alright, what was I talking about? What was I talking about? Oh, shit. Ravager timings, right. So Phoenix openings like this one are really good for taking a fast third base, because one of the scariest things when you're taking a fast third base is the Roach Ravager timing. And if you're a new player, this is probably the scariest thing for you. Definitely for me, like the first 300 games that I played Legacy of the Void, it was the scariest thing for me taking a third base in PvZ, was it felt impossible to deal with Ravager timings. I had no idea how to do it. But it actually turns out that 3 Phoenixes, just 3 Phoenixes, can lift up a Ravager and kill it, and just 1 lift. And so if you save your energy, 4 Phoenixes can lift up a Roach and kill it in 1 lift, 3 Phoenixes can lift up a Ravager and kill it in 1 lift. So if you save your energy and you have a good pylon placement like this, like a pylon placement here, pylon here, and then the gateways and that kind of thing, and like you would be able to scout the Roach Ravager timing coming too if you like have your Phoenixes out on the map. You should be able to scout it before it actually reaches your base as well. You can actually just lift up the Ravagers and kill them, and you can defend against the Lings by warping in Adepts and charging your pylons and then lift up the whatever leftover Roaches there are. And so Phoenixes are actually really good for taking a 3rd base. And not only are they good for taking a 3rd base, they're good for clearing Overlords on the map to deny scouting information. They're good for getting worker harassment, and they're especially good for scouting your opponent because there's so many things that Zerg can do in Legacy of the Void. They have so many viable openings. And I don't mean that in like as a balance wine sort of thing, it's just there's a lot that you have to prepare for. And so if you're not doing if you're not doing Phoenix openings, hallucinated Phoenixes can get the scouting information that you want, but it's really nice to not have to build those sentries because realistically sentries aren't going to be very useful in PvZ. I think I almost never build sentries in PvZ. So that's the logic behind the Phoenix opening. And then after taking your 3rd base, it's very typical to go up to a Robo, Forge, and Twilight Council, and then immediately start the Robotics Bay. That's what I'm doing now. That's the build that I'm developing right now. And Twilight Council, all 3 tech options are good. You can go Charge, you can go Blink, you can go Resonating Glaives. This game I went for Resonating Glaives because I want to do a lot of Adept harassment, but my opponent was really, really good at denying that. The only time I could really get the Adept harassment done was when there were like 3 prongs going on. Like I would send a Warp Prism all the way around here and drop it right here and send another one to his natural and then also push his 4th base. Or natural, 3rd base. But it's only situations like that that I was actually able to get the Adept damage in. So in this game maybe Blink would have been better, because it would make my mid-game army a little bit stronger. But I did go for Adept harassment, it didn't really pan out. But even just the Phoenixes, I think I got 1 or 2 drones in my Adepts. My Phoenixes have killed like 7 drones, and they're good for other uses other than that. I also got in a couple Queens and stuff like that. Like the Phoenixes have done a lot of work. Maybe 3 Overlords, a Roach, 7 drones, 1 or 2 Queens. It's been, and all the scouting information and everything too. Phoenixes are such a good opener. I really love Phoenix and PvZ. Like this is just, it's amazing to be able to get this up. And then adding gateways, going in disruptors. And the one thing that I'm really curious about, that I have been curious about for a while, is when to throw down my disruptor bay and when to begin building, oh god, that's the first time I've ever called this the disruptor bay. Because like all of all of Heart of the Swarm and all of Wings of Liberty, this would always be the Colossus bay. Because you would always build it for Colossus. The first time I've called it a disruptor bay. It's like the full transition. The full transition. Finally, I'm calling it the Disruptor Bay. But anyway, I think that the timing that I was curious about was like when it would be good to actually do this. And I think what I'm gonna go for is what I did this game is as soon as the Robo is done, build a Warp Prism, build an Observer, and build the Robotics Bay. Like as soon as it's done, build a Robotics Bay and start a Warp Prism and an Observer, and then go into 2 Robo Disruptor immediately after that. I think that's what I'm probably gonna go for from now on in PvZ. At least when I do this opening. So I do have other openings, but this is the one that I've been practicing the most. And another thing that's really important that I've found to look for, and these are 2 things that are actually really important, is 1, I've decided that whenever I go Phoenix, I'll go up to like 7 Phoenixes or so. Whenever I do this, I'm going to build an Oracle after I'm done with my Phoenixes and just keep it on the same control group. Because Phoenixes are so valuable in terms of scouting information, and you can always generally see where your opponent's army is, unless you lose all the Phoenix, which I do sometimes. But if you get a Revelation off on like all their Hydras, it makes all of your army positioning, all your army movement, everything so much more effective. And this is arguably the most reliable way of scouting for lurkers, because observers can get picked off, but they can't take off Stasis Ward. Or not Stasis Ward, Revelation. So I'm gonna start doing this every game too. These are 2 things that I started doing today, with the 2 Robo Disruptor this early, and then also the Oracle. I'm also gonna begin binding my Disruptors on Control Group 1 with my main army until my Phoenixes die, because they inevitably will die. So that'll take a lot more micro to do, but I think I can get better at it with time. I just have to manually control them the same way you would Templar. Like control click them, move them in the back, that kind of thing. And one other thing that's really important is if your opponent is going for Hydralisks, and I found this to be really important for me. Maybe it's not as important for you in PvZ, but what's really important for me is if my opponent's going for Hydralisks, there are 2 things that are really scary with this. They can go for a Roach, Hydra, Ravager timing, or something similar, or they can do a later push with Lurkers. And realistically, I'm not going to change the way that I'm playing against either of them. The only thing I might do differently is if they're going Roach, Hydra, Ravager, I might build a bunch of pylons at my 3rd base, just so I don't die to the first push, because I'm only going to have 2 Disruptors probably when it comes out. But being able to mentally prepare yourself, being like, okay, he's building a Lurker Den, I know that his push isn't going to come until Lurkers have morphed. Or, hey, he's not upgrading his Lurker Den, he's probably going to do a timing much sooner with Hydralisks. Being able to mentally prepare yourself for something like that is so helpful for defending an early game PvZ. It's so helpful. Even if you don't make any huge changes, just having the mindset. Let me answer some questions in chat, because it looks like there are a couple now. How do you deal with the big Hydra timing at that time? That's what I was talking about before. I would build a lot of pylons in my third base ramp, and I would just keep my army back, try and pick off any reinforcing Hydras and my Phoenixes, and just play defensively with disruptors. And why did I take the fourth base on the left as opposed to the one tucked in the pocket directly in front of my third? So I would really love to take this base, but I've found over the course of my games this base to be a lot less safe than this base because of two reasons. One, like, I'm not even going to talk about this reason. I'll talk about the main reason. The main reason is this ledge. When you're going Disruptor, it's not like Colossus where your Colossi can attack units that are up here. When you're going Disruptor, you have to send the ball. And so for me to actually get my AoE up here, I would have to send my army all the way around and then charge them up, send the Disruptor balls from here. And I'm probably realistically not even going to get into this position because he's going to have other units here, right? He's only going to have a couple units up here. And so for me, it's much easier to take this base, which as long as you have good vision on the map, it's much more comfortable to fight in this position and fight in this position than it is to try and hold off pressure that's coming here, especially when Vipers are out. How do you reckon getting into the 1v1 ladder? I would just go for it. When I first got StarCraft 2, I immediately just started playing the game. I would just dive into 1v1. What about defense versus Ling Drop with Phoenix opening? So I will have 3 adepts when the Ling Drop comes, and the first Phoenix will be done right before the Ling Drop hits. So just know the maps. On this map, the 2 Overlords are going to be here. I would probably have 2 gateways on the low ground, and so this one I would be able to see if he's building a Ling Drop, like with the vision for the gateways. And the other one would probably be here. So immediately send your Phoenix to the one where there might be a Ling Drop, and if there is a Ling Drop, you do have time to move 2 adepts to one-shot the Lings as they're dropping, and then just have your Mothership Core down here ready to overcharge, because it's probably a Ling all in if they're doing that. And I'm from California. What do you think the Zerg should have done to win? His Vipers were really late, but I don't know. I have to watch the replay more to get an idea. Statewide can't get a decent placement already. What does a guy have to do to make a bracket? I didn't really go to a lot of tournaments last year. So for last year, I moved to Korea so that I can improve my play and do better in tournaments. But I didn't get a team. I never got a team contract with a foreign team. And I have a couple offers now, but nothing that has a travel that I want. And anyway, the reason why last year I didn't really go to any tournaments is because I couldn't afford the travel to events. And I tried playing in WCS, but I was playing in WCS qualifiers from Korea, and the latency from Korea to the US is like 200, 250 milliseconds, and that matters so much at the top level. Like, it really affects my play. And it's not even just like strictly the like delay that affects my play, but it completely throws me off. It's like so distracting. So like even now, like the DreamHack qualifiers for NA are gonna be coming on like January 9th. I'm probably gonna play maybe like 200 games on the America servers just to get used to the latency, because I feel like it's such a big factor. I think TOS is the strongest race. I think Zerg is the strongest race, honestly, but I'm biased. I'm a Protoss player. But I'll be going to a lot of tournaments next year. I will go to a lot of tournaments next year. A lot of tournaments. My goal next year, my goal is to join a team, a foreign team, and attend every major WCS event next year, because my end goal is to qualify for BlizzCon. That's my aspiration, is to qualify for BlizzCon. I'm not saying I'm good enough to do it. I'm just saying that's my goal. My goal is to qualify. But I don't want to, like, as far as teams go, I don't want salary, I don't want like new keyboards, I don't want new mice, I don't want like shirts or gears or swag or anything. Like, I don't want any money. I just want opportunities. I just want travel to events. That's all I wanted of a team contract. I would take a zero salary, no perks contract if it would let me attend every major WCS tournament next year. State I'm a law student. I'm writing an essay on esports. Would it be possible for me to get some input on it? I might know a few things about contracts. I probably won't have the time to do that. I'm streaming 9 hours a day. I probably won't have the time to have a meaningful conversation with you, JoQQ. If you message me on Twitter, maybe we can do something like, maybe I could, if you really want like consultation, I could maybe do it like at the rate that I was doing coaching before, which is like $20, $25 an hour. But I've gotten so many requests like this lately that I can't say yes to everybody and do it. I'm sorry. I would take a 0 salary contract if it would mean that I can go to every major WCS events. How much is a trip? Like $1,000 round trip to the US or to Europe. Yeah, JoQQ, send me an email. My email is statesc2@gmail.com. statesc2@gmail.com. Anyway, let's do some more analysis now. If you guys have any more questions, I'll answer them after this game, and then I'm gonna update the replay pack too, and then we're gonna ladder for about an hour more. But anyway, what am I thinking right now? Let's get back into the game. So I just took this base, and by the way, it is a mistake that I don't have a cannon here and 2 more gateways. And realistically, I should probably have 3 or 4 pylons, like pylon, like this right there. Realistically, I should also have pylon up here, or like pylons down here for overcharge. It's a mistake that I didn't do those 2 things. But this army, so my Stargate units are all in control group 2, and my main army is on control group 1. And I have all of these disruptors in my control group 1. And I'm actually really used to this with Templar. I will bind my Templar on control group 1 with my main army, and have my Stalkers on control group 2. And typically the way I'll do that is I'll have 2 or 4 Templar with my main army, and then every other Templar I will have like behind my army, and I'll manually control it. Like I'll go for manual flanks. I won't have them on control groups or anything like that. And so I actually have a little bit of practice with this micro. I'm probably going to start doing this with disruptors too. Like keep disruptors with my army and just manually control them the same way I would Templar. I think if I start practicing that, it'll be better for me to... Because I've really tried having 3 control groups, 1 for my Stargate units, 1 for my my main army, and then 1 for my disruptors. I can't do it. I've tried like over 100 games, and I mess up almost every time. I really think like it's beyond my capacity as a pro gamer to do that. Like I feel like one of my strengths is my mechanics and my multitasking, and one of my big weaknesses is like my decision making in terms of taking engagements. So for me saying like this is a weakness for me, it hurts because I want to be able to do this, but like I really tried and it's just so difficult. So I think I'm going to try doing this for maybe 100 or 200 games and see if this pays off better. But at this position, I guess he could have gone for a meterless transition, looking at his bank, because he's been maxed for a while. But I'm expecting him to go into Hive and go into Vipers right now, because he's committed so much to his ground army and he has so many ground upgrades. And also, as long as you're trading with the Zerg player, as long as you're managing to keep your upgrades going, which I think I'm going to start I really hope I start +3 soon, because it would be a mistake not to. As long as you're keeping your upgrades going, the longer the game goes without Zerg doing a tech switch and the mutas, the weaker the muta switch is actually going to be, unless they have a massive bank. Because your upgrades on the ground units are going to be so much better, you can actually deal with the mutas with just your ground units. I think also it might be worth getting +1 weapons on air units, if I'm going to build this many Phoenixes. Because +1 air weapons cost less than a Phoenix. Maybe I'll get +1 air. It's 20% damage increase. Maybe I'll do that. So I'm not really scared of a muta tech switch right now, because I know he's been committing so much to these ground armies. So what I'm expecting right now is Vipers. And another mistake that I feel I made this game was I didn't get my Templar archives up quickly enough. So I really do need feedback for Vipers. The feedback, I think the abduct range is like slightly larger than the feedback range, and so the way it works is like if you abduct a disruptor that has sent out its Nova, the Nova is cancelled. It doesn't matter if the disruptor survives, the Nova is cancelled when the disruptor is abducted. And so abduct is huge in fighting against disruptor armies in PvZ. If you're a Zerg player having trouble with disruptors in like late game scenarios, if you can play well with Vipers, unless the Protoss player gets like some crazy sick feedbacks off, like I honestly felt like I was really mindful of it. I honestly felt like I didn't do too bad a job with trying to get my feedbacks off, but I still lost a large number of disruptors just to that. So if you're a Zerg player having trouble with this kind of army composition, going for Vipers is a really good bet. Vipers and Ultralisks are both really good because Ultras are like, they're so big that the splash damage is mitigated. They have so many hit points that, you know, it's not going to be doing too much. They also close ground more quickly, so it's less likely for them to get, it's less likely for the disruptors to get big shots off because it's easier to miss. Whereas range units are going to like stop attacking once they get within range. Or they're going to stop moving and start attacking when they get within range. But, yeah, everything that I'm doing right now is I want to do its timing pre-Vipers, and he still hasn't built his Vipers yet. I guess he's still been max, but I'm also trying to set up a 2-prong attack. I could warp in units back home. This may look like bad macro, but I'm deciding not to warp in units because I want to do a 3-prong timing attack. That's what this warp prism is for, and this warp prism should have speed, but this warp prism is for. So there's a big warp in here, and I plan on doing another big warp in here, but again, my supply, I just warped in a bunch of zealots. And then that's when I'm going to move in with my army, because I'm expecting him to be having his attention split, and his attention was split. I was actually expecting him to pull back, but he wasn't paying any attention. I was expecting him to pull back into the shots once he looked back over, but he didn't. And then he like charged up like this, and this is a really good move by him, and I wasn't expecting it. So I do get some good shots off, but I did miss one, and this is kind of a scary situation, isn't it? Like Zergin is just getting on top of you. And his like, I was also expecting, these are like +2 charge zealots. I was really expecting to get the hatchery, but I didn't. I did get the roach horn, I didn't get the hatchery. That's what these warp prisms are for. I probably should have just attack moved with him. But I really thought, this guy's like, this guy's dealt with the warp prism very well. I really thought I would be able to do it. And him not having Vipers in that fight, imagine that fight again, but with Blinding Cloud or with Ducks, and it's going to be completely different. I think that was probably the biggest mistake this Zerg player made. That was also a really cool move. If you're a Zerg player, if you abduct a warp prism while it is warping in units, all the warp-ins will be cancelled. They won't lose the money. The units don't die, but the warp prism will be cancelled. Vipers are so sick, man. They're such good units. And I didn't get the hive. That also hurt. But I've killed a lot of drones. Oh, wow. I actually haven't killed a lot of drones. Ooh. Where are all those drones? Oh, he sent them to this base. But I was able to pick off this base and this base. So he's on a 3-base economy. And that's one of the reasons why I was saying, like, I know if I just wait until I get Templar, because realistically, I'm expecting to have Vipers out. I think I did see the Vipers when I did this. That's why I waited until to get Templar and Storm. And my Templar archives was already pretty late. But knowing that I have this base up saturated, like he may have more workers. Okay, he doesn't have, I have too many probes. But because these bases aren't saturated, this one's just saturated now. My income spend, the bar looks pretty close, but like 1800 and 1200, that's a pretty significant gap. Especially considering Zerg is typically a head-on economy. So that's why I was really comfortable just to get close to maxing again. And I still have my Oracle. Oh wait, no, this is a new one. I rebuilt it. Oracles are so good, man. Revelation is so good in these late game scenarios. Oh. Revelation told me I can do that. Revelation Observer Placement. Vision is so important with Disruptors. And then from here, I have a bank. And I have this base. And I know what his army composition is. And I have a really good army composition against what he has. So I feel really comfortable. This is just, it's just playing really passively and safely, not making any big mistakes. The depths like this. Like I already had my Templar in the front, and this is on purpose, so I could feed back the Vipers, but I still couldn't get it. Doesn't say what the range is. It doesn't. What if I mouse for feedback? Will it do the circle? It will do the circle. Okay, so wait, I'm gonna use my hand. So it's this range. This is so ghetto. So it's this range. It's from the Lurker to my Templar. And then this one is, it goes to what? To here? Which is from, yeah, that's larger, isn't it? It looks like one range more. I think it's one more range. But yeah, look at that. That's pretty long range. I think like this is feedback and this is abduct. One range makes a big difference. But anyway. I feel like he's already too far behind one from this position. So my Disruptors are on control group 2 and my Storm's on control group 1. My Stalkers. It's hard to control this army though. Ah, look at that. That would have been a money shot, but it's abducted. And as soon as it's abducted, it didn't even die right away. As soon as it's abducted, the shots cancel. Oh. But kill another base, and then reposition. And then he clumped up all of his Lurkers. The game probably could have gone on quite a bit longer, but he clumped all of his Lurkers. And then like he lost critical mass, and I could just blink on top and fight him. Anyway, GG. I'm gonna watch this game again later for me.